Hey, this is Jay with Sakred Gaming, bringing you a devotional on meekness. Meekness, what the heck is meekness? Well, I'll tell you that here in a second, but I am with the understanding that meekness is something that we desperately need in our culture today, and I'll tell you why I feel that way. But I don't know about you. It feels like there's some issues going on in our society that are just pushing us to the point of breaking. I mean, they feel like they're getting ready to explode. Racial or racism in the world today, or in America today, with all the police shootings and then the riots and everything like that. That's one of those issues. Homosexuality is another issue. This is an issue that's going to the Supreme Court right now, and that will be decided here pretty soon. Now, I don't know where you stand on this issue, but I want to share something that happened on Facebook when I posted an article. Now, I'm going to tell you the name of this article, and some of you guys that are on one side of the issue, you're going to be like, oh man, you're a jerk, JA, for posting this, but I want you to listen to why I posted it before you go all off on me. But I posted an article called Dear Gay Community, Your Kids Are Hurting. Now, in this article, this lady was raised by two moms. Her dad just left her, and was out of the picture, and she was raised by her mom and her mom's partner. So she grew up without having a dad, and she said she kind of missed having that father figure in her life, and it kind of caused some issues. And she said she really couldn't talk to her moms about that because when she did, they were kind of very defensive about it. And she said that's kind of typical of the gay community. There's a lot of defensive nature that goes on in that, and that's understandable. But the whole reason that I reposted it just kind of really struck a chord with me, because I grew up in a family where I had a dad in my life, and then when I became a teenager, my dad left and he moved a couple states away, and I really didn't see him growing up in all of my teenage years. And I really regretted not having my dad in my life, and I saw some problems that came about as a result of that. So when she was talking about that, I could really relate to her, and so I thought the article was interesting. I love hearing different people's points of view on different things, and so I posted it. Now, as soon as I posted it, a member of my family, I'm not going to say who it is, but a member of my family immediately sent me a response. And he said, please don't post this discriminatory shit. And so I responded back, and I told him exactly why I posted it. Growing up without a dad, I could really relate. I think it's interesting getting a firsthand view of what it's like inside same-sex marriage, especially since this is a topic that's going on today. And, I just tried to explain that. And so he responded with 29 messages after this, 29 straight messages where I didn't even respond or anything like that. And I just want to read you some of the responses, and I'll explain why I'm sharing this. But first of all, I started calling my mother a lesbian. Then he said Christians are making America stupid. Christians don't believe in science. Christians are ruining America and the world. He said, try the real world where slavery still exists. And I don't understand why he said that, because, I don't know, if you've been around my channel, you know that I'm very big in the End It movement and supporting things that try to end human trafficking. So I'm very aware of slavery still existing in the world today. So I don't know how he equates Christians with not understanding that, but whatever. He said, you also have no idea what other countries' people think of you. And he said that the majority of people outside the U.S. make fun of Christian voters. That might be true. He said Christians are to blame for everything bad that basically happens in our society. And he says everything, all Christians' fault, all. So I guess we're responsible for everything that's bad. He said we're destroying America as with Rome went, so it's going to be the same thing because of idiotic Christians. And then one of my friends actually replied and said, hey, to this person, you don't really have to read this. That's the beauty of America. You don't really have to read this article and go all nuts. And she didn't say actually go all nuts, but she basically said you could just block me and not read the article. And then he responded and said, you look like an idiot. But then he went on to say, you all are killing people, innocent people, and you will hopefully pay for that. I'm not aware of anybody that Christians are killing today. In fact, I think there's a lot of examples where Christians are being killed in the world today. But then he goes on and says, go back to pounding your chest like a caveman. Christians should stop making America suck. We could build trains, renewable energy, have peace in the world, equality, and fair trade, but no Christians have no desire for this. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the Christians are getting in the way. From my point of view of that, that seems more like government getting in the way. I don't know if he's equating Christianity with our government today. I don't make that comparison. but he might be going with that line of thought. Then he says, F your Christianity, I will enact my inspired life Jesus gave me. Y'all can burn in hell. Being non-cognizant of the horrors you enact on the people while you shop at Walmart and while slave labor creates your goods. So I guess he's equating Christians with Walmart there. I'm not exactly sure why. And then he says, F you for making me say pedantic crap. I don't even know what the word pedantic means. I had to look that up. He says, get past the first grade. Once again, you're making Americans look like idiots. And then he says, his last statement was, F you all. And if you have a problem with what I say, I'll kick your ASS when I get back. Now, when I read this, all right, first of all, this is a family member and somebody that I know, somebody that I have really respected up to this point, somebody that, me and him, we don't agree politically. We're on different sides of the aisle, but we've always been respectful towards each other. And then for him to just go off like this, man, I don't know what he was thinking or anything like that, but I really wanted to respond and just tear him a new butt. You want to fight, let's go. That was my first response. And I started writing a response to him, just laying into him. All right. And then I thought better of it. And I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't respond when I'm angry. I need to just step away from this and walk away. So I did that. I actually went to lunch. And on my way to lunch, there was an evangelist on the radio station I was listening to talking about meekness. And I was like, oh man, this is something that I need to hear. I know this was directly, God speaking to me about this, and everything like that. So what meekness is, though, it's really, a lot of times we associate meekness with gentleness and humility. And if you look up meekness in a dictionary today, you're going to see things like being humbly patient under provocation from others, and that's what this was. But the second definition says overly submissive and compliant, spiritless, and tame, all right? Now, so the world's definition of meekness, is kind of this weak-willed person. But in the Bible, we see it as something different. In fact, Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, he says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So Jesus is elevating meekness. Now, not only does he say we should be meek, but he also demonstrates this. He's an example of this. I was thinking about Matthew chapter 26, when he's arrested and he has all these people coming at him and accusing him of this and that, and they're insulting him and they're, striking him and everything like that. He doesn't respond to that. He doesn't respond and get caught up with the insults and start throwing the insults back and tearing down people. That's what true meekness is. All right, it's peace, it's patience in the face of people accusing you and insulting you. It's not trying to elevate yourself above somebody else by putting them down. And if you noticed, this person who actually came at me, a lot of his responses were geared towards that and just insulting, putting me down, raising himself above me, and everything like that. And to be honest with you, if I would have responded, I probably would have tried to flip the tables and tried to insult him and put him down and just reacted out of that. And luckily, though, I was able to take that break and just, kind of calm down. I think that's what we need to do in America today, because a lot of times when we debate things, we're very passionate about them. I've seen a lot of polls that say we're moving to the extremes on both sides. And as we do that, we become more passionate about what we believe, and we fight harder. And unfortunately, we resort to tactics like what I was talking about, where we just go to, instead of listening to what people say and respecting people's opinions and trying to learn from them, we go to insulting people and just, I'm better than you, I know better than you, you're what's wrong with America today, and I'm going to elevate myself over you. And unfortunately, when that happens, nothing gets accomplished. I mean, look at politics today. It just really disgusts me. But when you see Jesus, all right, I don't want you to mistake that meekness is about just laying down and being a doormat or anything like that. When Jesus is accused and everything, he doesn't get caught up with the accusations and respond to them and retaliate by calling people stupid and everything like that. Instead, he just responds and answers the questions and speaks to what he's about. But he's patient when he does that. He's calm. He has peace when he does that. And that's what we need. We need to speak out on the issues that we're passionate about. All right, but we need to do so with gentleness, with patience. We need to not riot in the streets and everything like that. Look at MLK, Martin Luther King, and how he responded to racial relations to how we are responding today. We're rioting, we're just destroying things. And that's not the way to accomplish anything. And it's the same thing with our debates. In the past, I have responded poorly to things. I've responded out of revenge and anger and just wanting to elevate myself and put somebody else down and put somebody else in their place. But this last time with the situation that happened, I tried to just respond and speak to the issues, because we need to do that. We need to speak to the issues. We need to get our points across, our points of view out there. But we need to do so without getting angry, without going to that other level. We need to have meekness in our response, as Christ did. We need to model that. So that's what I want to encourage you. As we're looking at racism in the United States, as we're looking at homosexuality, can we do so with civility, with humility, with meekness? I think as a Christian, that's what we're called to do. We're called to be bold. We're called to speak out. But we're also called to do so with meekness, with humility. So that's what I want to encourage you. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Is that what you guys see when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to debating people? Could we benefit from this meekness? Let me know in the comments, though. But hopefully you like this. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you give this a thumbs up. Guys, as always, take care and God bless.